Welcome to Game Stream number 9. I'm your host, Stevie Stay Bros, and I'm here to play some games. So thank you so much for joining us. As always, I show our gratitude and appreciation for all those who have chosen to spend their time with us here today. We've got It's the Costanza in the chat, and we've got It's Bullsy, and I'm sure that many people will show up, especially the hate watchers. It's a great way to lose weight. But yeah, I'm feeling a little bit Kerbalish, so gonna do that. I'm not too sure whether or not No Hard Feelings is airing tonight. So apparently there was stuff that was to be discussed on that show, as was alluded to on previous shows. So I'm not sure whether or not it's going to be free. But if it's not, suggest that you subscribe to, the Famous Network Patreon, which you can find on Patreon, obviously, and experience it for yourself. Shout out to Latino Heat in the chat. It says, LOL, I thought you said you hate stream number 9. Okay, maybe I'm mispronouncing my words, senor. But yeah, I want to play a little space. So what we're gonna do is get to the game here. There we go. And I want to get back to this lander that I developed, which apparently is not functioning as it should. So I want to nail down why that is. So that's why I'm here today. And, well, if you're interested, well, you'll probably learn a lot. So, we're going to go back here. Probably going to auto-load. Nope, didn't auto-load. But, where's the save ship? Yeah, there we go, see? Auto-saved. We're going to load this. We already have block B, or block 2, defined. We got to figure out why the fuck our lander is not working. So here's what we're doing, and she's a beauty of a ship. She definitely has the power to get where she needs to, at least to the moon. But we need to find out what the fuck. So select from here, delete. We're gonna call this KLK lander. Whoops. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay, so we're not going to basically delete our previous saved ship. Now, what we're intending to do here is attempt to, attempt. Yes, I repeat myself. Figure out exactly what the fuck's going on. So we're going to save this, launch it, and we're going to see how it operates. Shout out to It's Bullsy again. I already called him out, or shouted him out, I should say. What does he say? Game stream in the form of community Kerbals. Yes. Actually, I was thinking of making Drew a character and then making a train for him so that he could ride a train in Kerbals. All right, so here's our ship. We're going to have problems, obviously, with electrical charge because there's no light right now. We don't necessarily need those open because they might, obviously... oops. Hey, why am I not being allowed to... I should be able to retract them. It's not letting me. That's interesting. All right, well, initiate stage. SCRCS, does that work? Well, let's engage SAS. Yep. Okay, so confirm that our SAS and RCS is working. Let's see about the main engine. Main engine is functional. Wow, even under these conditions, under Earth, well, Kerbal conditions, oof, it's a hard landing. But yeah, it works. I mean, we've just verified the craft works, so we're going to revert the flight to the vehicle assembly building. And we're going to go back to our original saved, where is it? KLK Block 2, I believe. Or the moon. Yeah, there we go. Or MUN. Load that up. So, something fucked up the last time is that the staging didn't operate properly, clearly. And when we tried to land on the moon, this thing didn't want to work. So, we're going to have to go through our staging here. So, as you can see, oh, Bolsey, very thick comment in the chat, and that's what she said. Heard you sent Danny STD, I like to call him MP3, to the moon. No, actually, I sent him on an elliptical orbit around the sun, or the star of this system called Kerbal. And yeah, he's going to be circling around that star for thousands of years. Well, his corpse will. Says, wonderful job, former drama emperor. I would attempt to send him to Jupiter. Don't know too much about that, about the no longer planet, but it done has harsh conditions. Okay, you're gonna have to clarify that. It's a little difficult to read. So, rockets and boosters go off at the same time. Then we have these release. Rockets up and going. Then we have the ejection of these, as you can see here, the ejection. Where is it? There it is. Ejection. And the rockets go off, which shoot it away from the main block here. We have the fairings, both here, around this stage, and this stage, that blow off. Then we have the ejection of this stage here, which is basically our translunar injection stage, although this rocket already will get us into translunar injection. But this is, our fuel to get us, to the moon and orbit and adjust things as we wish. Okay, so ejection, rocket goes off. Okay, so once this is expended, this stage is expended, that ejection of this here goes off. And that rocket activates. And yeah, that's the last rocket. So everything is lined up. Everything should be working the way it should. I don't know if it's maybe a lack of electricity. You know what? Maybe that's what we'll do. We're going to add some extra... we got enough fuel, I believe, from this, but we're going to add some extra electricity because that might be the problem. I think that may be the problem from last time, but we had full electricity. But regardless, I'm going to overdo this. Give it a little more heft here. Yeah, it's going to have to be the way it is. So we're going to save that. We already have 2 batteries down underneath here. Well, everything tells us it's supposed to work. And we've gone through our staging here. So I'm not too sure why we encountered our problem from last time, but we're going to launch this and see where it goes. Bullseye says, I'm saying I would try to send Danny to Jupiter to do harsh conditions. I know it's extremely cold there, and some ammonia can kill a person on Jupiter. Well, he's already well into space. I'd have to use a cheat code to basically get him to crash land into Jupiter. But hey, if you want to see that, just let me know. All right, I don't like launching during nighttime. So we're going to time warp here. Let's do the time warp again. Wait for sun up. There we go. And that's it. That's good enough. So activate SAS. As we see here, this is our computer. We're going to throttle up to about 66%. As you can see, it's in thirds. 33, 66, 99. And, well, of course it's warranted, Bullseye, but I think floating in space for eternity is a good consolation prize. So, here we go. Ignition start, launch. Already trying to do our rotational insert here. There we go. No. There we go. All right, we're at 2 kilometers up. Let's look at our map. Apoapsis at 8. At basically about 10 to 15, we want to start to align ourselves to circularize our orbit. Try to utilize our fuel as most efficiently as possible. Okay, so start to do this. We also have to keep our eye on our solid rocket boosters, which will expend themselves fairly shortly. And we have to do that as quickly as possible because obviously the mass that they carry will slow our momentum. So 60 kilometers, that's good. Okay, we're at the 90. And eject. Trying to stay on course here. All right, so our apoapsis is 72 kilometers. We want to get a little bit higher than that. We're going to increase our thrust here, adjust our altitude. That's our prograde, which is direction forward, basically. 80 kilometers. $95, and I'm going to cut it off there. We're going to continue, obviously, to, and we've still got a little bit less than half of the fuel. So what we want to do is we want to move these fairings, because right now our orbit is going to allow for anything that's ejected to fall back into the atmosphere and obviously be destroyed. So our deal is we're getting to the moon. And actually, before we do anything, we want to make sure that we don't fuck around. We're going to extract our solar panels. and ensure that we don't run out of any electricity. Although we have enough batteries that we shouldn't have to, but I don't know what the fuck happened last time. So where are we at? So we got to wait till this point so we can fire prograde to circularize our orbit, and then we'll be in a stable Earth orbit. It'd be better if I could, if I could fine tune this particular rocket, it would allow me to get us into orbit just enough. Well, it would get us high enough that I could then eject this stage with no fuel left. And then obviously it crashes into the atmosphere. I don't have to worry about any space junk. And then the next stage would have enough, just need a little bit of oomph to get it into a stable orbit. So that is also a challenge for Rocketeers, if you want to call them that. Also a good movie, by the way. So, let's see here. Almost ready to fire. We're about 53 seconds. I usually like to go about 30. But we are in the proper direction. In fact, I'm going to utilize the SAS computer to point us into that direction. I'm using RCS thrusters right now to ensure that we maintain that. And we're about ready to go. So we're going to fire this up. We're going to see how our periapsis, lowest point to the surface, will increase. So 84 still safe, but 133 still higher up than I'd like. But 90, I like 100. It is the official level of space. I think it's called the Kármán line, but it starts with K. But yeah, that's good enough. That's good enough. So where's the moon? Moon is just behind us here. Actually, yeah, it's already. If we look at the map here, or not the map, but it's already launched. It's already raised above the surface. Again, the strategy to use in this game is as soon as you see it peak up behind the Earth, or I should say, Kerbin, you direct yourself prograde and you fire your rockets. So we got a lot of fuel. That's good. We might be able to utilize this either to, we're definitely going to be able to get to the moon. The issue is whether or not we're going to eject this stage and throw it out into space, as we had to do with the previous attempt to get to the moon, or if we're going to get captured by the moon, eject the stage onto the surface, and allow it to be destroyed upon impact, which is, obviously what they do a lot when it comes to the additional junk that comes with the spacecraft. A lot of the times it is used scientifically to determine, okay, well, what kind of sediment is coming off the moon's surface. It's been said that it's been used to, see what kind of reaction you get from the moon. And there are the stories that apparently the moon rang like a hollow bell when it was struck by the expended stages of the rocket that supposedly got them there. But, if you look into that information, it doesn't look like that rocket actually had the ability to get to the moon. So a lot of stuff to look into that. But hey, we're just, we're playing here. We're having some fun. We're going with the narrative, man. We're going with the narrative, man. So we're going to fast forward here so we can try to get into our lunar insertion. There's the moon. There's the moon. So we want to wait basically to about here, so when we're going to start to see it actually pop up from behind the horizon. So let's just slow it down here. Go back to this, point ourselves, utilizing our RCS into prograde. Our fuel status, oxidizer, and liquid fuel for this stage is still substantial, but not too plentiful. It's headed to the 5 years right now. Getting bored to death with the science talk. You're troopers. Alright, so look how tall these mountains are. That's really cool. We're some time away from seeing the moon, so we're going to reduce our use of SA. Well, actually, we still have a lot, to be quite honest, the monopropellant from this stage. So it'll still allow us to stay on course, but I don't want to overuse it. And yeah, I hear that the newer versions of this game actually have multiplayer, which is kind of cool. You can get it on Steam. I know you can download it directly from their website. You have like a sort of standalone copy that doesn't really rely on having to have a Steam account or an online connection. But yeah, if you're interested in this game, check it out on Steam. If that's your flavor. And if not, check it out online. Okay, so we are in the direction we need to be. The moon shall be coming up relatively shortly. We got some good fuel. So hopefully I'll be able to get this thing to crash into the moon. That's what I prefer. I prefer, instead of just sending it out into the solar system, and yeah, it'll orbit the sun basically, but it's junk. And you got to think about the environment, right? Even the space environment. So we're waiting on that moon. Get that RCS active here. Get us positioned properly. Electric charge at 100%, which is good. Check our, okay, so we're just about ready to see it. It should start popping up on the screen here fairly soon. And as soon as we do, full steam ahead. There we go. Now we got to be very, very delicate with this, because this, orbit is actually going to increase dramatically. And we don't want to keep our throttle at 100 too long, because it will hyperextend beyond the orbit and force us to do readjustments. And obviously that requires a waste of fuel. So we've got thrust at, oh, there we go. All right, so our periapsis, lowest point to the surface of the moon, 1.2 million kilometers. Let's see if we can slightly reduce that. Yep. 8. Okay, half a million kilometers around the surface. We certainly want that lower. $300,000. If I don't catch this orbit, I'll just end up rotating the center of gravity, which is, Kerbin. But we want to get this closer. 169,000. 111,000 meters. 78 kilometers. 47 kilometers. That's what we're going to go with. We're not going to want to push it anymore. Well, do I? Yeah, a little bit. Just a little. Just the tip. There we go. 18 kilometers. Probably not the best, just because that is very, very low. What we can do is we can just go into retrograde. So activate RCS thrusters. Go into retrograde. And now that we're coasting towards the moon, I can easily, once we're in the retrograde direction, I can just easily do a little spurt, a little reverse, and increase that periapsis just a little bit higher. And this is actually, we're going to be in the perfect position too, because what we want to do is once we get to that point, or just a little bit before, is we're going to want to fire in retrograde, in the reverse direction, so that the orbit basically just wraps around the planet. We want to slow ourselves enough that basically it's just going to wrap around the planet and create a stable circular orbit around the Mun. So we're now in the position here, so if I just slightly raise this, periapsis at 80,000 meters, or 80 kilometers. That's good enough for us. So we're going to deactivate our CS, and now we're going to coast towards the moon. Whoops, I just went to the wrong window. These things are so sensitive. It's bizarre. It's weird. And because I don't like the angle that the solar panels are at, we're going to rotate ourselves. And there we go. So now we're exposing our 100%, or 1, it gives it a 1 right in here. Energy float 1.724. Direct sunlight is now provided to our lander, which is also powering our rocket for the most part. We have other components here as well. But now we're basically on our way to the moon, or the Mun, spelled to M-U-N. It's supposed to be pronounced Mun, but, you know, it is the equivalent to Earth's moon. So, Skype lines are open. I guess I'll open up Skype lines if anyone wants to come play space with me. And yeah, I'm committed. I'm committed to getting this thing fucking landed on the moon. This thing was supposed to work last time. I did all the necessary testing. And yes, we will somehow, some way figure this out. So you're with me here on this journey. And I hope you're enjoying yourself. And, yeah. Either way, I'm having fun. This is what I like to do. And if people don't like it, or they want to make a video and highlight, oh my God, Dave's got 2 viewers, 3 viewers watching, 1 viewer watching, 0. It doesn't matter. I could play this game without streaming it. I just thought people might enjoy it. Regardless, I'm still going to play it. Still going to fucking talk about science and shit. Even if I'm not even doing a Kerbal stream, I still talk the science talk. So, okay. So here's what we're going to do. Because, obviously, game playtime, although somewhat limited from real time, it still takes a lot of time. So we're going to fast forward here, do a time warp again. As you can see, now the blue line is the influence of Kerbal, the planet Kerbal, Earth. Once it reaches here, it'll be in the influence of the Mun. But if we don't do anything to keep ourselves within that that gravity well, or that center of influence, as it's also referred to, it's going to shoot off and then just go into a stable orbit around the biggest mass, which is Kerbin. So, let's see here. Let's fast forward. We're approaching good. I'm going to want to slow down because this game works very quickly. So we're just about to meet it, I guess. We're not even out of its influence. We're just about to get there. There we go. So there we go. Now the moon is attracting us by its gravity. If we don't circularize, we will be shot right out and thrown into elliptical orbit around Kerbin. So what we're going to want to do is at that point, we're going to want to, and again, I usually try to do it prior, is to, have ourselves in the reverse direction. That's called prograde. And basically fire our rockets, at maximum thrust, just so that this closes in. And we got a nice circular orbit around the moon. We got a good equatorial orbit, although not that good, actually, to be quite honest. There's been obviously, and I've had better luck with other rockets I've designed, but this one clearly is not on a proper elliptical orbit. It should be going around the equator equally, but it's on an angle. So clearly, a better launch could have been devised. So, in about supposedly an hour and 39 minutes, we're going to place an hour 39. I'll place it here, add maneuver. We want to retrograde so that it closes up. 48. No, we want to cancel that. Cancel that maneuver. It's the problem. Here's the problem: is that it's closing up our periapsis for an altitude that's too low, and it depends on where you place this. So if I do this, okay, our periapsis is remaining about 80 kilometers. That's safe. Now it's starting to reduce a little bit, but this one's at 150. Now, apoapsis 81, periapsis 14. We can't have that. Apoapsis 84, 62. That'll work. Yeah, that'll work. I don't want to have to adjust it anymore. I want to try to keep our fuel as efficient as possible. We are, thankfully, again, in the proper prograde direction. So we're heading towards the moon. So basically around over there, see the cursor, around over there, we're going to hit that point in about, get in game time, an hour 38. And the burn's only 5 seconds long. So once we do that, it's going to wrap this thing around this blue line and create that blue line around what we currently see as this dotted gold line. And that's how it works. So, let's do it to it. We're going to do a little time warp again. We might have to unpause. See, the thing is, though, because we're not doing too much of a swaying motion, the rocket itself is still maintaining its current direction, which is prograde. So we won't have to do too much adjustment. Oops. So I'm going to do a little fast forward. It may drift a little, but we're in a position right now where there's little movement to the craft. And, shouldn't, what's it called? Shouldn't do this sort of thing. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm in retrograde, but we're going to be having to move there. That's our maneuver. But that's going to move closer to us. We don't want to move that now because then we're going to have to start utilizing our thrusters. Is there a CS on? Yeah. Our thrusters to maintain that position, and it's going to keep moving to here. So we're going to be wasting fuel if we do that. Am I the only rocket scientist here? Okay, a little bit more fast forward. We're moving closer to there. End game supposedly an hour. We are staying in a proper position. We will have to eventually start to move in towards the direction of our maneuver, but we want to wait as much as possible to try to prevent waste of fuel. It's about 36 minutes. At this point, we are starting to drift, as you can see. So we're going to put ourselves in the direction of our maneuver and then activate our RCS. I don't know why the fuck it's doing that. That's weird. Okay, I'll take it. So deactivate our thrusters here. Hopefully this won't drift too much. We just got to keep our eye on our little targeting spot here. And we're going to fast forward a little bit more. Times. Wesley, time warp 100, engage. So 12 minutes supposedly in the game. I like how it's still staying on course. And it's basically, again, retrograde is the opposite direction, so it's aligning itself for that. Let's keep going here. 2 minutes. I still want to get to the to that landing site where you've got the arch and all those weird things. It's about here, so we're gonna have to adjust ourselves, obviously. But we got about 2 minutes left before our burn. We are directed in our maneuver here, which is perfect. Is it there? I'm not sure if it's here. There's another crater that hides a lot of stuff, but I can't see it. But it's either here or here. I think it's over here. No, it's got to be here because it's close to the equator. I remember that. All right, so we're 1 minute away. We want to go for 30 seconds. We are in the proper direction of our maneuver. We are going to activate our RCS thrusters just prior to us firing our rocket, which we'll only need to fire for 5 seconds according to this timer. So we're going to see what happens here. And we still have quite a substantial amount of fuel, so I might have to overburn so it falls and lands on the planet, and then use the second stage to get us back up into a stable orbit. So 10 seconds left. Activating RCS. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. And we're going to reduce our throttle. RCS still activated. 2 seconds, 1 second. We want to reduce that. There we go. That's close enough, and that's good enough. So, we are now... Okay, you can shut off the RCS. Thank you. We still have a substantial amount of fuel in here, but we've stabilized our orbit, 80 kilometers and 69 kilometers. So, just quickly check with the chat. No comments from what I've seen. Since I've succeeded at least with the stable orbit, I think I'm going to pack a bowl. So, while I do that, if anyone wants to call in, they can. If anyone wants to talk shit in the chat, that's what it's all about. And, yeah, I will continue to try to make this mission as efficient as possible. And like I said, I don't want orbital garbage, and I'm going to have to adjust accordingly. So what I may have to do is that since we're reaching this point now, this is a good apoapsis, highest point at 80 kilometers, lowest at 69. Ooh, 69. Whoa, dudes. This might be a good opportunity for me to try to eject this case, this stage here, and then just get it back up into a proper stable orbit. So, I don't know, because I would also like to try to adjust my, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to adjust this so that I can adjust my, I want to get down to here, but I need to make sure that this stage doesn't stay in orbit. So we're going to have to reduce our orbit. That's the only thing I can do. So, retrograde. Okay, so periapsis right now is 4 kilometers. There we go. Okay, so that will ensure that this thing will crash. What we're going to do now is, since we're in retrograde, we're going to eject this stage, which is going to shoot out behind us. Okay. We're going to activate this engine. Put a little bit of thrust. Okay, good. Good. And we're going to look at them, because by doing so, actually we need to go into prograde so that we can raise our God damn it, our orbit. So that thing's going behind us, but we need to get above that. So RCS on. Nope. Yeah, we're going to go a little bit lower. Now what we're going to do is go into prograde direction. And this will allow us to actually increase our orbit so that we don't crash into the planet. There you go. Periapsis at 60 is safe. 66, good enough. Actually, hold on. So there we go. 69, dudes. 69 and 88. Not too shabby. All right, so we're now in a stable orbit. Not at the angle that we do want, but we're going to change that from here. Actually, before we do that, let's go to the, oops, hold on. That's our craft. That's gonna, obviously this stage is definitely got us in a nice stable orbit, but this is our lander. But we want to go to our craft here. So since our other craft, which is way out there at 1.8 kilometers, not that far, we're going to watch this crash into the surface. So if we look at the map, we can see, unfortunately, it's going to be crashing at the dark side. But hey, you're going to see some smashy. So let's fast forward here. This gets further away, as you can see. We're getting into the dark areas of the moon, or the mun. And you can see our altitude dropping here, 20 kilometers. And you can see that, you know, obviously there's the craft, but hidden by the lack of light. And 17 kilometers. That's our crash landing spot, apparently. Let's go a little quicker. 16 kilometers. We're getting real close to the ground. Some of these mountains actually get real tall. 13 kilometers. It's unfortunate you can't see it on the ground, but it is certainly approaching the surface very quickly. 585.8 meters per second. 12 kilometers. Shout out to the 4 viewers we got here. Hi, Skunty. Hi. Hi, Shid. 10 kilometers. It'd be great to be able to see the surface, but we can't. So we just have to wait for the explosions, because there'll be explosions. Absolutely. 9 kilometers. And sort of align it here. You can kind of see that there's a surface approaching, but in space, nobody can hear you scream. 8 kilometers. And this stuff should be, probably ejected. Some of the stuff can bounce around and just go because there's no, hardly any gravity. Just gonna like go for miles and miles, just bouncing on the floor of the or the surface, I should say, of the moon. 7 kilometers. Maybe it's falling into a crater. Maybe it's very deep. You never know. Some of these craters are really deep, actually. Still at 5 kilometers. What's going on? When are you going to crash into the surface? Let's do a little fast forward. Oh, we can't. Under 5 kilometers, you cannot fast forward. Come on now. Crash. Damn it, crash. I want to see the boom, because it's all about the boom, baby. There we go. See, the radar doesn't work that well in this game, because this really refers to sea level, not actually the surface. So although the radar might tell you, oh, well, you're 3 kilometers, 3.8 kilometers above the surface, no, you crash into the surface. But let's, there's more debris. All right, so let's go back to our map here. Oh, this stuff is more debris? Really? I don't know what the fuck that's still doing. I guess. Okay, sure, cool. Let's go back to this. So, we're going to switch to this. KLK Moon. So, we don't like being in the dark, so we're going to fast forward. All right, so we want to be down there, actually. That's where we want to be. Right down on that, oops, let's do it this way. Right about there is where we want to be. So, what we want to do is we're going to add a maneuver here. Hello, a maneuver. That's what I'm trying to tell you to do. Hello, 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 maneuver. There you go. There you go. Come on. Come on. Come on, I'm your daisy. The fuck? There we go. So, we want to reduce our orbit. I believe it's this one here. Nope. Oops. Okay, let's see here. Could be a little lower. There you go. Come on. much lower. There we go. Because it's basically just about at the lip of this crater here. We want to do a retrograde. Nope, that's not going to work. Well, guess I have to do it again. So, come on. And the maneuver. Reduce our orbit here, or orbital angle, I should say. And 69. We're going to have to, 69, 67. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that for now. We got enough fuel to be able to adjust ourselves accordingly. But I do definitely want to land at that position. So we're going to go to our maneuver here. We have our thrusters active. And we have about 27 minutes before we encounter that maneuver. We'll deactivate the thrusters. We'll go into a little time warp again. Obviously we're drifting, but not too much. 7 minutes. All right, so supposedly 2 minutes for the intercept here. We want to keep ourselves in our maneuvering position here, activating RCS thrusters. We're looking good so far. Still have some light from the sun. Let's see our fuel. Okay, good on monopropellant and electric charge. Again, I'm hoping that this will actually work. Unlike last time. But I'm determined to figure out how we're going to use this primitive yet advanced lander to get onto the moon. All right, 30 seconds. Position is oriented properly. RCS is active. Engines online. And burn time to 6 seconds. 10 seconds. And now the engine doesn't want to work. What the fuck? What the fuck just happened? Okay, so I don't know what the hell's going on here. And clearly, look, it's not on time warp. Wow, what the fuck is going on? I got into orbit. I've got power. Got electric charge, monopropellant, oxidizer, liquid fuel. Stage is active and working. It was. Clearly we know that our RCS is working. Well, it was a second ago. What the fuck? Hold on. What? I've never seen that before. Control locked. Is this why it's not working? What the fuck is this controlled lock crap? So I can time warp, apparently. Okay, so what in the... Okay, so deactivate that. Let's deactivate that. Okay, so computer systems are functional. Engine just has basically stopped. What in the fuck? Shut down the engine. And then activate the engine. See if that maybe works. No. Well, while I try to figure this out, I'll be right back. All right, well, this is a weird one. This is very similar to what happened last time, but it shouldn't have happened. Let's fast forward, see if we can maybe, once we're in the sun, okay. Let's orient ourselves towards, I don't know, retrograde. See if that works. Okay. Ah! You son of a bitch! Oh my god. So it was the electricity from the sun, but I don't understand. Oh my god, that's so fucking... Fuck you. Let's see if I... Basically, I had the rocket active, then I ejected the stage, and it just decides to go, whatever. But I think it's F9 to restore to the autosave point. Let's see if this works. There we go. What? That's not the autosave that I wanted, you fucking... Are you kidding me? You son of a bitch. You fucking son of a bitch. Alright, well, at least I've determined what the fuck was going on. It's the sun that apparently, even though I've got full electric charge, it's not going. And, yeah, I fucked up that one there. If we look at, actually didn't even, maybe it just went back to what it was before, I guess. It says the last save state. So I guess nothing ever went to the moon. Yeah, give me a second here. Man, that's fucking annoying. I'm gonna have to tuck tail and run when it comes to that. I know at least I know, you know, I wasted billions of dollars now. in game. Well, not really because it's sandbox. I can do whatever the fuck I want. But it's disappointing for me as a NASA administrator to have lost two of these landings. When although the technology is supposed to be functional, it clearly is not. But yeah, we're gonna have to try that for another day. I tire of trying to land this device on the moon for today. I was thinking of making some jet planes or something like that, but I've been on for about an hour and stuff. Just wanted to play some games and stuff. Maybe I made your day go faster. Maybe I didn't. Who knows? Maybe you're a hate watcher and you lost some weight. Good for you. It's Tuesday night. I don't think there's. Well, like I said, there may be no hard feelings. I don't know. Oh, oh, I'm mellow now. Oh. Drew's on tonight with or derailed gatekeeper Drew is on with his not too serious show at 10 p.m. I believe Eastern Standard Time, because you can't spell best without EST. And yeah, that should be enjoyable too if you're looking for something to watch. So, on that note, I am going to quit the game here. I'm going to transition to this screen. But yeah, hey, thanks for joining me. If you had fun, great. If you didn't, fuck you. If you didn't tune in, who cares? Whatever. I'm just having fun, de-stressing, as I like to do with these games. And, well, I'm sure I'll see you somewhere, because, let's just be honest, people want me around. So, especially you hate watchers. So on that note, I'm Devious Dave Rose. Thank you for tuning in to us here on the channel. Yes, I talk in third person and in the plural. And we shall see you next time. I should hi.